Hello YouTube, Swiss Gear Labs here. Today I would like to show you my setup to sharpen knives in the field or especially to sharpen Scandi grind knives. For those who have seen my previous video on precision sharpening of knives, know that I like to use sandpaper. Sandpaper is very cheap. It comes in various different grits and makes, and it's very easy to change settings, and I really like to use it because of its weight as well. This setup I made myself, and it's based on the idea that I would like to have a very flat surface, this surface here, on which I will rest my knife when I sharpen it. And everything you see around here is made so I can fix this sandpaper snugly on this aluminum base here, so it doesn't have any play, so you cannot move it around, and also it's really nicely put on the aluminium without any space in between. This is important because as soon as you start to put the knife on the device and start to sharpen it, you don't want the sandpaper to lift off from the aluminium, because this wouldn't give a very nice edge on the knife. Now let me show you how this thing works, how it is to set together, and how it works to actually sharpen the knives. As you can see, I took apart the sharpening setup. Here you can see that I have a movable aluminium T-bar with a very flat surface. It's movable. I have on both ends two fixations for the sandpaper, and I have 4 screws that will allow me to adjust the distance of the T-bar with regard to this wooden construction here. To set it up, I take my sandpaper, fix it on one side, make sure that it is nicely adjusted to the edge, fix it, then I do exactly the same on the other side. So now you can see that the sandpaper is actually put in place, and you could start to grind your knife if you wanted to, but it lifts off and it's quite wobbly and warpy, and this is where these 4 screws come into place, because by screwing them into the thread, what is going to happen is you're going to push the T-bar away from the wooden bit, and this helps you to tighten the sandpaper over the aluminium bar. It looks all a bit awkward now because I try to avoid shades and shadows, and I try not to come into the optical path of the camera, but you see the gist. So now you can see the difference very clearly. The T-bar is pushed towards the paper, and it's really snugly the sandpaper is snugly resting on the aluminium T-bar. And this is already it. You can start to sharpen your knives now. To sharpen the knife in the field, I take the device in my hand like this. You can see that there's enough distance here so I can hold it comfortably without having this part of my hand coming above this level here. so I don't have to fear to cut off parts of my hand. So I hold it here, add some oil. I use vegetable oil, olive oil or sunflower oil. Then I put my knife level. This is a Scandi grind knife, it's a Enzo Trapper, and you can see I ground it a little bit just before, and it's quite a rough grind. It's grit 300. And I just pull my knife over the device, making sure that I have the knife edge always touching the sandpaper regularly. By now I really prefer this way of sharpening compared to a sandstone, because I always have exactly the same situation here. I know it's flat. It doesn't. If the sandpaper is starting to use up, I just use the next one, and it's always a flat, plain surface that is the same every time, basically. And also it's a very narrow width, so I can focus actually where I take off the material. If I use a wide sandstone, I'm never really sure where I actually take off material. That's just because I don't have enough experience or enough time working on sandstones. But for me this is easier because I can see where the pressure is, and I can actually focus on where I take off material. And since this part here, the device, the setup is not very, but rather large, I don't have to worry to cut myself, which is a problem with small sandstones. And if you do that several times, then you just start to sharpen your knife, of course. If I have to take away many kinks or really a lot of material, I take off material in a backward and forward motion. And with time, you really start to feel, and you even start to hear, if you take off material correctly or not. When I'm at home, I fix the setup into this vise. Then I can use both hands to control my blade. That's how I sharpen my knives in the field. I showed you only Scandi grind knives today in the video. Of course you can also sharpen convex grind knives in the field, no problem. At home, the convex grinds or non-Scandi grinds, I have to say, I prefer to sharpen with my bigger setup. It's more precise, I control the angles very well. For the Scandi grind, this is the only way I sharpen my knives. Hope you liked it, and catch you later. Bye.